Today we're discussing the basic debate about obesity. Is it our genes or is it our environment? I'm going to take the side that it is more our environment, and Lucas is going to debate whether it's our genetics or not.
All right. You know the saying, you are what you eat, right? Turns out it's not what you eat, it's what your parents ate, your grandparents, and your ancestors. So the etiology of obesity is multifactorial, involving complex interactions between genetic makeup, neuroendocrine status, fetal programming, and different unhealthy environmental factors such as sedentarism and or inadequate dietary habits. Among the mechanisms causing obesity, epigenetics has emerged as a very important determinant. Epigenetics is defined as the study of heritable changes in gene expression that occur without a change in the DNA sequence. Is that my minute?
That's why
we will get so disappointed.
Alright, so the first one of my points is discussing the unhealthy food that we have all around us. And the major factor is fast food. So there's tons of fast food that we see every block, everywhere we go. And they offer, well, first of all, people don't have time, so they want fast food. They are energy dense, and they taste good. So a lot of people just find an easy way just to go, and they're cheap also. So just go, they buy them, they eat them, and then they don't realize how much they're hurting their health. And it happens on a regular basis. It's not like once a month, or if there is not availability of unhealthy food, so they always turn to these fast food places and unhealthy choices. So yeah.
All right. I'm just going to continue.
Okay.
Epigenetics. Just as the last decade of scientific research was revolutionized by Human Genome Project, this decade is dominated by epigenetics. The field of epigenetics transcends genetics, genomics, and molecular biology, and is now poised to be the vanguard of biological science. The rise of epigenetics marks a maturation of the field, which only 50 years ago was given its name and a vague definition, but now is a dynamic discipline, challenging and revising traditional paradigms of inheritance. Through epigenetics, the classic works of Charles Darwin, Gregor Mendel, and Jean-Baptiste Lamarck are now seen in different ways. As more factors influencing heredity are discovered, today scientists are using epigenetics to decipher the roles of DNA, RNA, proteins, and environment in inheritance.
Alright, so I'm also going to. So not only people go to get fast food, get the easy choice, also the portioning of the meals is huge. And a lot of these places, they make discounts. The bigger meal you get, the bigger drink you get, the cheaper it gets. So they're encouraged to eat these unhealthy foods. This is one. Two, the timing when they eat. So the pattern of people's eating habits is also a big factor to what makes them obese. People don't eat breakfast. They don't eat lunch. They have dinner, or it's not balanced out. So that, when they have that meal, it just goes and stores into their system, and it's harder to get rid of. Also, physical activity versus having a sedentary life.
cancer, obesity, and other diseases. So, as Yvette mentioned, that the sedentary lifestyle and the genetics play a big role. Epigenetics is the factor that either turns on or off, in layman's terms, the genes. So, if you have every single cell in our body has an identical genetic makeup. The eye cells, the cardiac cells, skin cells, they function differently, but they have exactly the same DNA. But it is epigenetics, the DNA methylation, that silences or expresses these genes. So,
Okay, my last point is stress level. We live in one of the most stressful states, let alone countries. So we don't have time to pick out healthy food choices. We don't have time to actually prepare a healthy meal or get breakfast or get out, have a full an hour lunch or have a full, well-balanced dinner. And these stress level, I'm sorry.
that's level.
Corey, these stress levels. These stress levels keep the brain system around. So we have studies have shown that there's higher cortisol levels in people who are continually stressed. What this makes is it signals the body that it's hungry. It increases the appetite levels, decreases satiety levels. So people eat continuously, people are more prone to eat carbs rather than vegetables and fruits.
Questions, comments, concerns, confusions?
Oh, wow. I think I have a couple of.
Oh, wait, I have a last thing to say.
Okay.
What we agreed on is, he did his research about genetics and I did about the environment, but what we both found out is one of them doesn't cut it alone. So, yes, genes have a huge factor. For some people, those genes for satiety or appetite are turned on more rather than other people, but by itself, it's not going to make a person obese.
So it can't be one of the.
Yeah, so it's
So you and I are of same mind. As you know, great minds think alike.
Stole my quote.
Yeah.
I just want to clear things up on this side, because I have to put into our words. So what you're saying is that like the human genetics, I don't know what epigenetics are, but human genetics, they're too complex to say that it's just the environment working against your body?
I mentioned Human Genome Project in 2000, year 2000, it was finished. The scientists thought that there must be more than 100,000 genes in the human body, but it turns out it's only 25 to 30,000. And that was the human genome, but they sequenced whole DNA, every 2.3 billion nucleotides. And it turns out, so every single cell has 3.2 billion nucleotides.
Okay.
Nitrogenous bases,
Yes.
A, T, C, G.
Yeah.
We learned that in
Yes.
biology, right?
I
So,
think so.
it doesn't matter if you have genes, if they're not expressed. Am I right?
Yeah.
So, or if they're silenced, and the environment, meaning your dietary habits, your thinking, your behaviors affect those genes, and they are then
Turn on or off? Or?
yes.
Okay.
And what's more important, they're inherited through subsequent generations, because genetics takes thousands of years, sometimes hundreds of years, sometimes thousands. Ethnic, especially groups, takes 2,000-3,000 years to have those genes. But I'm sorry, is it too long?
No, you got 1 minute left.
So basically what he's saying is that for certain people, we have those genes turned on.
Okay.
But it's the environment that affects the expression of those genes.
Right.
So if you're living a healthy life, it's much less, you're much less predisposed to being obese rather than you have these genes turned on, and then you're going eating unhealthy food, fast food, soft drinks, 24/7.
Got it. Very, very good answer.
Anyone else?
So in other words, your environment is a trigger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Did you research this or did you know this? Both.
I don't know, this paper, if I could have passed that paper out to the class, you need to show Dr. Dawson your paper.
It's
That
okay.
it was great. It
Thank
took me back to my freshman year biology. So,
Thank you.
but yeah.
Great thought.
Thanks.
I wish